Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening. How are you all doing? My name is Amanda Ellis. A warm welcome to my channel, whether you are new or whether you have been with me a while. I'm realising there is a symbolism to lighting and burning a bit of Palo Santo at the start of this video, because we're going to be looking at the energy of the month ahead, December. And obviously there is a nod to Christ consciousness energy in a December month. I'm going to be weaving in various energies. One of the first that wants to step forward is actually Joseph, the father of Jesus. And of course he was a carpenter, so we have the energy of wood. But I'm also doing this just to help clear the energy on a Monday morning at the start of a brand new month. And we are in the final lap now of this number 9 numerological year. How are we doing with regards to closing it out, reviewing the lessons that we've learnt, reflecting on the past, and also hopefully looking forward to the future? I hope that you're all doing well. So, as I say, we're going to be channeling some messages from Spirit. We're going to be doing some cards. I'm going to also be probably bringing in an animal totem and more. So shall we get to it? Let's just let that do its thing over there. So December, month of December. What am I intuitively feeling with regards to the hot spots? The energy spots that are really flaring red with regards to wanting to get our attention. I'm really being drawn actually to the solstice this year, and I will be doing a video for winter solstice. We've also of course got 12/12. Now, because I sort of missed 11/11 this year because I haven't been well, maybe we will do something for 12/12, but there is a lot going on. So yeah, 12/12, solstice, of course Christmas itself, Christ consciousness energies, and the other thing astrologically that has had the biggest impact on me over the last 48 hours or so is the change of direction of Saturn. I have Saturn on my midheaven, so when it is retrograde, I feel it maybe more than most. The only way I can describe it, and tell me whether you've been feeling the same, is it's felt so heavy for such a long time, to be perfectly honest, with regards to a lot of things, but particularly Pluto transits, and then that Saturn retrograde really didn't help. But I woke up on Saturday, and for the first time in quite a long time, I said to my husband, actually, I said, God, I feel a lot better today. Felt like the analogy is having been swimming down in the depths. I've been talking a lot about that and using that as symbolism for where we've all been, and coming up for air and really being able to enjoy that gulp of air, you know? So it definitely feels as though we've got a new junction, and those of us that maybe have really been trying our best to do the inner work, to just be a better person, to try to embody heart-centered consciousness, I really feel as though maybe our luck is turning. So let's hope so. But I definitely feel as though there is a more buoyant energy in town at the start of the month, and hopefully for the whole of December. That's not to say there isn't a lot of yucky stuff still out there in the collective. It was always so. It will continue to be so. But I'm talking about our personal frequency and our individual vibration, which is a choice even when we are finding it really difficult and maybe are wallowing around in the depths with regards to shadow work or just feeling unwell or down. It's about honouring where we are at all times on our path. But oh wow, those moments when you just feel as though you can breathe again and feel a bit lighter are absolutely joyous. And I do feel as though the gift this month for all of us is to hopefully feel a little bit more than that. But what Metatron is saying is we do have to be aware of where our antenna and where our satellite is pointing, okay? So let's make a conscious decision to align to the highest timeline for ourselves, for the collective, and to choose love, basically, to choose love and to try to embody that as much as we can. When we are triggered, which we will be, to just notice it, to acknowledge it, and to try as much as we can to choose the path of love, forgiveness, compassion, gentleness, including with ourselves, etc. Okay? So, and yes, I will just say this because it's so beautiful, actually. I really do feel as though a dam has burst and we are the other side of it. That's how I'm feeling anyway. And those of you that have followed me a long time, you'll know that the book that is inside of me, one of the books that I need to write in this lifetime, is the journey and the teaching that I have had with regards to my relationship with my mother, who has been very challenging and has had a difficult life herself, very difficult life. But it's also been quite difficult being the daughter that's been trying to support that difficult path. And Mum has suffered many, many years with depression. I'm not saying it's all healed or anything, but this is the thing. She was round yesterday and she said to me, we've moved her into a nursing home, which has really helped. But she said, I actually feel happy. She said, I didn't think I was going to feel happy again. And I thought, wow, because I really feel as though where she's at is a barometer, or maybe it's just a signpost in terms of we can get there. Because, as I say, if you knew her path, and she's 80 next year, it has not been an easy one. It still isn't easy. She's got all sorts of things that are wrong. But just that, well, I've never ever heard her say that before, that she's happy. And I thought, even if it just lasts for today, and then tomorrow she's back to feeling however she feels, that is a breakthrough moment. And that's really what I'm talking about for all of us, to try to really appreciate these moments of clarity and lightness, and yes, happiness and joy when they arrive. And I tell you what, you appreciate it so much more when you have felt the other, when you've been feeling low. So I'm sure some of you out there might still be going through all of that. There is not a magic wand. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying there are some breakthrough moments coming. And absolutely, this month, filled with all of the Christ consciousness energy, is going to help us with that. I've even noticed, it's very easy to be cynical about Christmas, for example, and, bar humbug, and it's not like it was in my day. And I can be like that too. Don't get me started on the deterioration of Quality Street and Roses. I'll give you a tip. They're chocolates, by the way, for people in another part of the world. Used to get this lovely big tin, and all of the sweets would be individually wrapped in beautiful crinkly paper, and you sort of knew what the green one was or what the red one was. But we're not idiots. We didn't have to have it labelled, Now it's a plastic tin it's not a tin, it's a plastic thing that gets reduced every year. All of the magic has gone from it, and the chocolates don't taste the same. The wrappers are crap. Yeah, you've got labelled now what every single one is. And my point that I'm making is, bar humbug. I like it the way it used to be. But I am noticing that people are trying a little bit more to search for the magic. So if we use the analogy of the chocolate tin, the tip is go to Marks and Spencer's. Apparently they've got a brilliant tin full of chocolates in the old-fashioned way with nice individual wrappers. That's what I read on social media. Whether it's true or not, I really don't know. But the point is, people seem to be digging a little bit further to try to either recreate something or evolve something Make it special, basically. And I do think it is a reaction to this darkness and this heaviness that we've had. It's as though people are wanting to enjoy themselves a little bit more. I mean, yesterday was only the end of November, wasn't it? 30th of November. For us here in the UK, it's fairly early to put up a Christmas tree. I always put mine up around the 6th, 7th of December. So it will go up next weekend. And there's a reason for that, which is just personal to me. It's our wedding anniversary, but so that's why I do it. But yesterday I saw loads of cars with, the real trees in the back of them, people going home with excited kids in the back of the car. And I love all of that. So again, just notice it when you see it, because it's easy to see the stuff that isn't great, whether it's the decreasing chocolate value or anything else, So let's try to bring in the joy and the excitement and the magic again. I think it's really, really important. Okay. What shall we do actually? Let's bring in an animal totem first. And this is actually from a diary, and it's by Maddie Harland, and it's called Kingfisher. So let's bring in a bit of animal energy. And yeah, I'm feeling the energy of Kingfisher. So this is a little poem, and I think it says it all really about what I'm trying to articulate. And remember, where I am in the UK, it might be different for you if you're in Australia or New Zealand or that part of the world, but we are approaching winter solstice, so it's very dark, very, very dark. So it says, on a dark December day, when the light was falling early in the afternoon, I found myself walking beside the stream that borders the wood. I heard the distinctive, insistent yaffle of a bird flying swiftly like an arrow at the edge of the farmer's field towards me. It turned sharp right and flew down the stream towards the house, calling loudly. For a few moments, I caught sight of the exquisite and unworldly iridescence of a kingfisher. I was overcome with a sense of wonder to see the unmistakably beautiful turquoise plumage of a bird that appeared completely at odds with that dull, damp day. Joy arose in the ruins of my broken heart, and I knew that this experience was emblematic, that no matter how dark and hopeless life can seem, somewhere, somehow, there is a spark of light that carries an unquenchable message of hope and rebirth. I think that's beautiful. And this poem is titled Holding Light and Shadow. Oh no, sorry, it's not. The picture is. That's the picture that goes with the poem. Actually, I would like to sort of send some prayers out to our bird kingdom with bird flu, which is, out there and decimating, some flocks. Do you call them flocks? Is that sheep? I don't know. Our bird kingdom. I love the birds, and it's awful to feel that, there is a disease out there that is affecting them. I did actually, sorry to be a downer, but we have to also be real. We can't just live in a bubble of joy. We've got to honour light and shadow. I did see something the other day. I can't remember who was talking about it, but they were talking about swans. And I think it's a UK issue that they're worried about the swan population. I think actually there have been some deaths in a part of the UK. I don't know if it was Cambridgeshire, it was somewhere like that. I think it was 50 birds that have been found dead. And I just thought how sad that was, because, of course, swans mate for life, don't they? Hopefully they go together. There isn't one that's left. There's also seems to be a bit of a symbolism there with regards to twin flames and love. And, the positive aspect of it, of course, is that I live by the river, and every year you see the swans nesting, and people, really look to see them, and protect them, really. So whatever happens, there will always be new ones that come in, but there's still an honouring of what's going. I'm not going to do a separate twin flame video right now. I'm not really feeling it, but I would just like to say something with regards to Richard Branson, actually. I nearly did this last week and for whatever reason didn't. And, you know, I'm talking to the people that really get my energy and my work now. I'm done with the people that come onto my channel and just want to diss everything. And this would be a good example of it. Why I didn't say anything about Branson last week and the death of his wife, but I want to say something now, is that there is a portion of people that follow me that just want to come on and, for example, something like that, it would be about, oh, well, isn't he on the Epstein list, or hasn't he cheated on his wife? And it's almost as though it's always people searching for the negative. I can hear them now. I can hear them now. Honestly, when you're an empath, you just pick up all the vibrations that are coming at you. Cancel, clear, delete, back to sender. Thank you very much. Because what I saw, whatever he may have done in his own personal relationships, is between him and his wife, quite frankly. Let's just leave Epstein to one side, because there's lots of people that are on the list when it comes, if it ever comes, who won't be guilty of anything. Whether he was or not, I've no idea. But that wasn't what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the fact that he'd been married for 50 years. And whatever had gone on in that marriage, and let's face it, anybody that's had a long marriage, there's always been ups and downs, and there's always been moments where maybe you've had to forgive, you've certainly had to compromise, or yeah, that's the truth of it, you know. John and I, actually, it's our 25th wedding anniversary this weekend, so I know what I'm talking about. But 50 years together, that's quite something, isn't it? Him and his wife Joan. And I'm just bringing them in because of the swans, really. And they obviously were meant to be together. They were together for life. And then how difficult it must be when one of you goes. And maybe this is a message for some of you watching, because you might very well be that wife or that husband who's lost a partner that you've walked beside for decades. And how do you then pick yourself up again from that? Hopefully you have a loving family who can help you. But if I am speaking to somebody right now, which I think I probably am, I send you my strength and I send you my love. And the thing about love is that it doesn't die. And, you know, with regards to Richard and Joan, for example, she'll still be walking with him in spirit, even though I'm sure he's completely and utterly heartbroken. He wrote a very, very beautiful, heartfelt tribute to her, and clearly adored his wife. And at the end of the day, there were all many different expressions of love and relationship. And I think swans also teach us that. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say about that. Let me pull a card, though, for those of you that might have lost a partner. Let's just do that. And let's go to the Christ Consciousness deck. Okay, so to those who are experiencing the loss of a long-term partner, or just a partner, it doesn't have to be long-term, but those who are experiencing the loss of a partner, we've got the energy of Mary stepping forward, mothering and nurture in this deck. Yeah, because I said I was focusing on... and on the bottom of the deck, we've also got Jesus and Mary Magdalene, shared mission. There are relationships, there are partnerships, there are marriages out there which absolutely are shared missions, that you can't do it without the other. It's meant to be a joint initiative. And I suspect, if we go back to the example of Richard and Joan, he wouldn't have been able to have achieved what he did achieve in his life and has achieved in his life without her. I think he has described her as his rock, as that bedrock, you know. So it's true of many, many people. Yeah, but anyway, back to Mother Mary. I don't know if you can see it here, but actually I sort of laid out a little altar yesterday just to welcome in the energies of December and anticipate them and think about what I wanted to talk about. And what came through to me was, not just solstice and 12/12, but I really am feeling the energy of Jesus and Mother Mary. That's not to exclude Mary Magdalene, it's not to exclude Joseph, who I've already mentioned, but this bond, these sacred bonds, maybe that's what I'm getting at in this video, maybe that's what it's evolving into, sacred bonds, but the sacred bond between mother and child. And there isn't much that's really written in the Bible about the relationship between Jesus and his mother. We hear some with regards to early infancy, and we know that she was at the cross when he died. But the intervening years between birth and crucifixion at 33, there isn't a lot really that's there. And yet she will have walked beside him all the way through. And for whatever reason, I'm just wanting to really put them together in the spotlight. This December, this maternal energy, but also the dutiful energy of a son who loves his mother, for some reason is coming up to be acknowledged, maybe to be healed. Maybe it's linked into a lot of the wounded masculine that we see in our world. Maybe you recognise within yourself, whether you're male, whether you're female, that is coming up for healing. I said on my members video this week that I feel and have felt that one of the things that's been going on for me is a healing of the wounded masculine. I mean, wounded feminine as well, but it came up with regards to another ailment on the right side of the body, which is the masculine side. Had an infection in my right eye, actually, which is getting a lot better, but it was quite unpleasant when it first happened. And I thought, it's the right eye, it's not the left eye. And it's the right-hand side of the body again. It's the masculine energy. And then what Metatron said to me is, it's this number 9 year. We are closing out cycles. The old way in which your masculine side has expressed itself wants to leave the building. It's done. It's learnt what it needed to learn. It's expressed what it needed to express. It's done life in the way that it thought that it was meant to do. And there's a different version of the masculine coming online. And how it's showing for me, and maybe many of you resonate with this, is the energy of doing, which is a very masculine energy, and will still be there going forward, because we're not meant to just sit on our backsides basically and do nothing. There's nothing wrong with doing, but it's how we do and the pace in which we do and why we do what we do. I grew up, I graduated in the whole Thatcher era, the post-yuppie era. In fact, I think there was a recession when I graduated, but it was still very, do, achieve, accomplish, keep going no matter what, keep striving. Very Branson, actually, very Richard Branson, but yet with him, I'm sure he's now learning, of course, there's a softening, there's a humbling, there's a different way to express this masculine drive. But, back to how I've been experiencing, I've talked to you about this for quite a while, really, but it's all just coming together in a summary now, because it's the final chapter before the book closes and the new year begins, is this different pace, this slowing down that is needed now. And it isn't just about getting older. I look out on the world and I see where we're at now as being unsustainable in many. And the pace, which is getting quicker and quicker and quicker. And I do think there will be a reaction against it. I really do. And we're already seeing it. Many of you responded to my last video that I made where I said I just, obviously I know I was unwell, but I also just needed to just retreat for a bit and not have to explain either, it's just, and that's the new way rather than the old way of just constant drive and movement forward. And it is to do with birthing this softer version of masculine within ourselves. Let me just pull a card on this. Oh, so half of them, sorry, I won't look at what they are because they're all muddled up in my deck for some reason. Okay, so this masculine energy, really it's the Joseph energy. The one that's come up is stand up and steadfast vision. What do I want to say about that? We've got Mary and we've got the shared mission card again. Stand up, steadfast vision. The old way of protesting, let's just say protesting, or challenging the status quo hasn't worked, really, has it? There's something about a quiet strength coming that's needed from the feminine and the masculine combined, absolutely. But put it this way, I'm talking about us now as individuals who have both the masculine and the feminine energy within us. There's a lot of talk and a lot of work right now with regards to bringing the feminine online, standing in your divine feminine power. That's all great. Bringing up the energy of the goddess from the earth so that we hold that and that we are that and we can express that. But how can you do that if the masculine energy within you is still playing the old software? The strength of being able to, it's not even called protest, it would have to be a new word, but making our point, expressing ourselves with this new frequency, we'll see more change, but with less shouty voices and violence or aggression. That's all of the old masculine energy. Quiet strength. And yet Joseph embodies it beautifully. As the bin men come up my road, perfect time, and it is a Monday morning. The bin men often seem to be in my videos, but it's because I often video on a Monday morning. But yeah, that's very Joseph. Practical, salt of the earth blokes, typically blokes. I know some women can be bin people, but it's typically men. Just salt of the earth men. Get up at the crack of dawn to go and clear our rubbish. I saw on the news today that there's been a bin strike in Birmingham since about the summer, and it's still going on. My God, Birmingham, I'm so sorry to hear that. Birmingham, UK. That is appalling. The government should have stepped in and done something. But has anybody been challenging it or protesting it? I haven't seen anything about it. Almost seems to be a bit of an acceptance of it. It shouldn't be acceptable. It's a public health crisis, really. Anyway, let's bring in Joseph. I love his energy. And it's a very untapped energy. It's a very unused energy. It's very unseen by many people, unnoticed. It's in the shadows, in the corner, but it's there, it's present. It's holding up so much. I'm seeing the image of Atlas holding up the world. Strong arms, strong legs, strong torso, strong body, strong mind, quiet strength, just getting on with it. But there's also something with Joseph coming in right now at the start of December, which is to do with sweeping away the old. Literally is getting out the old brush, the dustpan and brush, the broom, sweeping into all the corners, going into all the drains, doing the things that you don't normally do for a clean swoop for next year. Pulling out all the old furniture, cleaning underneath the rugs, going to the bottom of the laundry bin, the thing that's been sitting there for weeks waiting for attention. It's all the little things that actually, when addressed and done and honoured as important, create the movement and wave of change that wants to come in. Because there needs to be this clean space, this blank sheet, this balanced paybook by end of the year, ideally. You're being given an opportunity to do this now. I'm being shown like an old filing cabinet, you know, clearing out, purging. I keep getting the same message. But something with Joseph where he's like the unsung hero. All those jobs that no one really wants to do, you don't want to do them, he's saying. Because it's all clutter. It's all in your mind anyway. Clear the list so that you've got this fresh new blank sheet for the next year. Really, really feeling that. Okay. I wanted to now pull a card from the Tree Oracle deck. And the reason for that is obviously December's all about trees, Christmas trees. Those of you that are in the UK and watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, there was a question on this week's, which was to do with which is the oldest tree, or which can be the oldest tree. I got it wrong. I thought it, well, I sort of got it wrong. I thought it was either oak or yew, but I went for oak. But it's actually the yew tree, which I thought was interesting. And the yew is in this deck, which is why I'm mentioning it, and I think we've had it before. But let's just see anyway which tree in particular wants to step forward with its wisdom for us now, for those that are listening. Right, I don't think I've had this tree before. It's card number 33 though. So a Christ consciousness energy, and it's the energy of Ginkho. Ginkho. And can you see that beautiful pinky peachy colour? It's the one that I've chosen for my wall today. It's also the colour that matches this beautiful orchid. And I'm really drawn to that colour in particular right now. So Ginkho, and obviously it looks like it's a feminine energy. Shall we have a look in the book and see what it says? Okay, so it says, from the seed comes the tree, and from the tree comes the seed, the source of life, immortal to the core. Discover the home of your being, send down roots, center yourself. Who are you really? Oh my gosh, I mean, who are you really? I'm sure I'm not the only one that's been asking that over the last few months. It's been so deep and so profound. It says next to the U in terms of age. Come on. You can't make this stuff up, can you? I just mentioned that the yew is the oldest tree. And then it says next to the yew in terms of age is the primeval tree. The ginkgo species has existed for more than 270 million years. 270 million years. Can we honour that? I just love the trees and the birds, these ancient species. We think we're so bloody important as human beings. And really, we just need to wake up, don't we, as a species, to our place in it all. We've placed ourselves first, second and third in terms of importance. Yeah, I know I'm ranting here, but I really feel this strongly. And we need to be honouring these other parts of life that are just as important to us, but to the whole ecosystem, the swans, the birds, the trees, etc. So here we've got a tree. The species has existed for more than 270 million years. Just think about that in terms of the story of Christ, 2 million years ago. Yeah. Here we've got something which is 270 million years old. We've got 3i Atlas, which is billions of years old right now in our solar system. It should be making us understand our place, and there should be a humbling, I think, that's coming in for those that are really deep. It says some 7 million years ago, this noble tree was lost to America, and 2.5 million years ago, it also died out in Europe. But guess where it survived? It survived in China, where it has enjoyed well-deserved respect throughout Chinese history. Today, the ginkgo can once more be found in many parts of the world, having been actively planted, particularly in parks. The great power of the ginkgo has never revealed itself so clearly as after the devastating atom bomb in Hiroshima on August the 6th, 1945. The bomb claimed thousands of innocent lives and saturated many more people, animals and plants with deadly radiation. Incredibly, 4 ginkgo trees, 3 of which were in the grounds of temples, survived the explosion despite being near the centre of the blast. The closest of them, just 3,707 feet or 1,130 metres from the epicentre, began to bloom again the following spring. Since this time in Japan, the ginkgo has become the bearer of hope. We've had the Kingfisher, the symbol of hope. We've now got the ginkgo, the symbol of hope, the bearer of hope. The ginkgo is the living embodiment of our origins, the source of life. It shows us the way to the core of our being. If we are true to ourselves in the way that we live and behave, we act as nature intended, with authenticity and inner confidence, with strength and with integrity, and then nothing is beyond our reach. But first we have to know where we come from, or else we cannot know where we are going. Hello, 3i Atlas. Connect to your roots, your origins, and then you are united with the source of being. Without roots, we are without orientation and lack direction. We feel bewildered and deserted. Instead of the ability to get things done, we are only left with doubts. Lacking guts, we try to get by through copying the ideas of others or the opinions of others. That's beautiful. I never knew that story with regards to Hiroshima. How extraordinary is that? So it's the bearer of hope. But there's something here, isn't there, about the honouring of ancestry and history and our origins. Yeah. I'm so grateful to this community to have a group of like-minded people that come together who get it. in the same way, hopefully, I'm getting it. I'm just at a loss, really, with regards to some of the culture that we've got out there that just seems so shallow and immature and unable to understand or even want to understand where they've come from, the nature of life, the meaning of life, all those big questions. I've always been like this. I've said before, I'm the type of person, if you're at a party, we'll be talking something deep and meaningful quite quickly, about something in the news or something that's happened or something that's going on with me or with you, and what does that mean? The superficial, it's the energy of the superficial energy. Wasn't there something about, I'm sorry to point her out because I'm not trying to judge her, although I'm not a great fan of her, and that's okay. You can not like somebody, but try not to judge them, because she is who she's meant to be in this lifetime, and her soul is probably expressing it just as it wants to express it, to demonstrate something to us as a collective. But I'm talking about Kim Kardashian. I don't watch her show, but, it's a bit inescapable getting away from some of these people. I did catch something on a newspaper or online where she had a brain scan, and the frontal lobe, or if that's the right terminology, was diminished brain power in the frontal lobe. Let's not be rude about her in the comments, please. But then I saw something where, I don't know how it just came into my algorithm, and it was referencing this, and it was saying, actually, it's true of a lot of people right now. And it's because, I realise where this is going. It's because people aren't using their hands. I started off with Joseph. Where's he gone? Joseph, father of Jesus. What was he doing? He was using his hands. He was a carpenter. This person was explaining that one of the ways that we can stimulate the front of the brain again, which is suffering because we're not looking any further than this. And then we're not even looking really at this. We're just scrolling the whole time. Our attention span is diminished. Our focus is diminished unless we do something about it, unless we read, unless we go deeper, unless we, we've just got to help our brain, basically. But anyway, back to what this person was saying. I can't tell you who it was because I really don't know. They were saying how important it is to use your hands, whether it is in something like carpentry or drawing. Actually, it's coming back to me now. They were saying how important it is to keep writing. We've got whole generations that hardly ever pick up a pen anymore, myself included, really. It shocked me because, sometimes I do like channeled writing, automatic writing, and particularly William T. Stead, when he comes through, he always insists that I put pen to paper, and I really struggle with it because my hand isn't as fast as it used to be in terms of trying to write because I don't do it. And this is a problem. And we should be writing more, basically. And it's to do with, it helps to strengthen this front part of the brain. Actually, I think this person was also saying, try to use your less dominant hand. Try to write your name with your less dominant hand. You'll probably be quite shocked at your inability to be able to do it. But the more that you challenge yourself, the more that you're strengthening the neural pathways, okay? So maybe next year I'm going to make a renewed commitment with my automatic writing. I have to be honest, one of the reasons I haven't been making great progress is because it's so slow, writing by hand. And then I thought, I'll just do it online. I can't do it online, it doesn't work. William's like, no, you need to put pen to paper and I will wait for you. So I will. And I'm encouraging you to as well. So things with our hands could be crochet, could be knitting, could be making bread, anything where it could be playing a guitar or musical instrument in some way. I remember one of my daughters went through a phase where she was trying to learn the flute, and that's quite complicated in terms of, your hand position, piano, all of that. Are we doing it? Some of us will be, some of us won't. There's definitely room for improvement. Even maybe gardening, you know, getting your hands into the soil, etc. That is a tip, okay? How we went from Ginkho to Kim Kardashian to Joseph, I have no idea, my friends. But that's why you come, hopefully, to my channel. There's a bit of everything here. Okay. How are we doing for time? 45 minutes. Okay. I'm going to keep this video just quite short, I think, or short for me. I'm going to end with some tarot. I've got the Winter Waite tarot deck because I want to honour Mary and Jesus, I think, in a separate video, probably nearer to Christmas, okay? I'm not feeling it so much today, although of course I honour them, but in terms of making the video, okay? Let's start with this deck. So this is my Winter Waite, is it? Yeah, my Winter Waite deck, and it's all Christmas themed. It's a bit of fun. Let's have a look on the 1st of December with regards to the overall energy of the month ahead. Let's have a look. And I'm going to start with 3 cards. Just noticing this sort of, this pattern, which is taking me to Scotland for some reason. Hogmanay, Scotland. Who's going? Right. Anyway, come on. 3 cards for the month ahead. Overall energies, please. Oh, phew. Okay, I was thinking, please don't let it be the Tower again. We've actually got the 3 of Cups. We've also got this card sticking out, which I can see is the Moon. And I will pull again for the 3rd card. Powerful moons is the first thing to say. So Solstice is just before the full moon in Gemini. No, sorry, that's this week. This week on the 4th of December, we've got the full moon in Gemini. It's a super moon. And then we have what we got just before solstice? Must be new moon in Sagittarius, is it? Let's have a look. And yeah, new moon in Sagittarius. Right, the moons are going to be particularly powerful this month. So get ready for them. Honour them. Celebrate them, really, is what we've got here. So what have we got? A full moon in Gemini. Let me pull 1 card for the full moon in Gemini. The twins. Full moon in Gemini. I would like to think that's also twin energies in terms of our light and shadow. Maybe this is a time of release to get back into balance. We've got the energy of death, and we've got the Magician. Yeah, and we've got the 6 of Cups. Oh, and we've got the 3 of Pentacles, and we've got the High Priestess, and then we've got the Emperor. Sorry, I've just got to keep going on. Right. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, I'll show you what they are. So this full moon in Gemini on the 4th is powerful. It's what I just said it is. It's a really good opportunity for you to let go of any imbalance within either your masculine or your feminine. Now, and it's a letting go. So it's where there's too much of something. For me, there's too much masculine. I hope I'm making sense here. What I mean by that is I've always been very driven by my masculine side. I've just explained that there's a new softer piece of software wanting to come in for my masculine side in 2026. So that old version that, you know, I've learned from, thank you very much, grateful for, thank you very much, got me to where I am, thank you very much. But any excess of that needs to leave. Okay, for you it could be the opposite. It could be feminine. You could have a feminine imbalance. What would that look like? Being too soft, being too giving. I mean, I could be a bit like that as well, actually. Maybe we're all a bit of both, aren't we? Yeah, because the more I think of it, actually, what we wanted to get rid of on the feminine side, remember there's a shadow aspect to the masculine and the feminine. So a shadow aspect of feminine, maybe being the doormat. Always saying yes when you actually want to say no, you know, putting yourself last and everybody else first. Have you got an excess of that? Can we allow that to leave so that a new, more balanced feminine can come in? The Empress, which is actually the final run of all these cards that I've got sitting here. I know you can't see them, but I can. The final card is actually the Empress. She's not a walkover. She's not a doormat. She's strong. She's independent. She's sovereign. But she's also fair. She's loving. She's gentle without being a sponge that soaks up everything out there. Yeah? How many of us are resonating with that? I suspect many, myself included. It's the old template of masculine and feminine is done. A new one wants to come in, which is why I've got the Death card. But I love the fact that the Death card is next to the Magician. And just to ram home that we are talking about the past, I'll show you the cards. We have the Six of Cups, which is the energy of the past. So something really being over and final. The Magician, you have all the tools that you need on the table to let go of the past, of what was imbalanced within this twin aspect within yourself. Then we have the Three of Pentacles, which is a card of working, but it's next to the High Priestess. I would like to think that that High Priestess is maybe your higher self. But actually, look at it. The next card is up is the Emperor. So actually, you are working with your divine feminine aspect that's represented here by the High Priestess, and your masculine aspect that's represented by the Emperor, and you're being asked to balance out. It's exactly what I'm talking about. And then we have the Ace of Wands, the fresh new start that comes in January on month 1. Ace of Wands 1. I love the fact that the Emperor is Father Christmas in this deck. Have you been naughty or nice? Have you been too nice? Have you been too naughty? It's a balancing. This full moon is definitely a balancing. Okay. Well, I think those cards pretty much say it all. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the King of Cups, and we've also got the Star, and then we've got the Fool. So really nice energies, to be perfectly honest. Really lovely energies for the month ahead so far. So I'm going to leave it there. I will come back and do another read on other things later this week, probably. And I hope that you're all well. Take great care. Remember to call on the energy of Joseph to help clean out all those little corners of the mind as well as the house. It's practical, strong, robust support. The gentle masculine wanting to come in. The Ginkho Tree reminding us to honour, more than anything, honour where our place in the universe. There's a letting go of the old ego, that we are the most important. We're important, yes, but there's lots of stuff that's important. And honouring our animal friends, the bird kingdom, the trees, etc. And more than anything, trying to really appreciate these moments of joy when they come and to share them with others. And to try not be somebody who just, when someone is feeling happy, to instantly want to cap it or then bring them down. There's a lot that goes on. Let's bring each other up. Okay, let's bring each other up. Take great care. Lots of love. Bye-bye for now. Bye.